is episode 344 of nolaughtrack podcast. Exciting time here because Joe Zimmerman is back with me, and it's been a year. It seems like it's been my fondness for you makes it seem like it was yesterday, but the memories don't fade.
It's been almost exactly a year because I remember when I arrived, the NPR raccoon was at the top of the UBS building, and I looked it up, and it was June of last year. Here I am. I'm back. I'm waiting for more animal news.
There have not been. Besides, I think I remember sending you a link to it. Our independent baseball team here in the Twin Cities, the St. Paul Saints, about a month after the NPR raccoon ordeal, they then honored the raccoon by wearing uniforms. They renamed the team the St. Paul Raccoons for one day.
They should be renamed that permanently. Sorry, it was an international sensation.
I know.
And then they released it in Shakopee. I feel like they could have toured that raccoon around the world.
I completely
made millions of dollars, donated to a good cause. I feel like people are too quick to be like, "Oh, we can't take advantage of the raccoon." So he's gonna go live his best life in trash cans,
right?
In Shakopee. Like that's a better life. Garbage.
No pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
How are you, Joe? Since in the last year that's passed,
good.
Sum up. Give me. We're gonna go month by month. Last July, how were you? Then, no. I'm kidding.
Yeah, good. I'm doing my podcast, a great listening experience. I put my album out, Innocence.
Yes, yeah. Last time we recorded, it was pre-album release. I actually listened back to it, and I don't even think you had the. When did Innocence come out?
It came out at the beginning of this year, beginning of 2019.
What was up with the delay, Joe? Because on the podcast you said, maybe end of July.
Really?
Yes. I just listened back to it an hour ago, as a matter of fact.
No. We recorded in June, and I said it was going to come out in July?
Yes.
No.
We'll have our own great listening experience after this podcast, and I'll play it back for you.
That's nuts.
It's true. Were you just trying to hype me for no apparent reason?
I remember thinking... maybe the edits were going to be done in July.
Well, in any case, now it's available.
All right. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the delay was.
Interesting. So anyway, I did listen back to the last time we were here. That was episode... today's 344. That was 299.
Okay. Wow.
299.
Right. Putting them out.
Yeah. Nice. 1 week before the big 300. And I'm so glad I listened. I listened, like I said, I listened back to it. At the very end, we're gonna get this out of the way right away here. Mm-hmm. This is an ongoing conversation that you and I have had now for 3 podcasts.
Okay.
So now we'll see how quickly you remember this. My iPod or my Apple phone. iPhone. Plug it in, ADD. Exactly.
Yes,
comes up right at one point. Your track ADD from your first album was coming up right away when I would plug my phone into my car, and I'd hear like the first line and be like, "Oh, here we go. All right, I gotta."
My friend in Atlanta, Christy Marinac, just texted me the same thing has been happening to her in her car for years.
It's crazy.
I don't know if it's the alphabetical order.
Yeah.
Of ADD.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, whatever song in all of your tracks is alphabetically the lowest comes up first.
I mean, it can. I mean, I've since looked, and you can switch it to however you want.
I need to do it first. I need to do an aardvark track for my next album, so it just pops up for people.
Yes, aardvark. So the update last time was that I changed it, and the new number 1 song that came up, number 1 is in alphabetically, was "Against All Odds" by Phil Collins.
Nice.
If you remember this.
Yeah.
So now, just 20 minutes ago, as I'm walking in here, I'm going, now I got to get the update because I almost forgot to check. There's a new number 1 that comes first in the A's.
Okay.
It is no longer Against All Odds. It is now Abe Lincoln versus Madison Avenue, Bob Newhart.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that one.
It's not a new one.
That's great. It's going to be new for me. Well, that's cool.
Bob Newhart was in town, I don't know, within the last month. I didn't go, but it inspired me to listen to some of his stuff.
He was in town?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know on tour?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was on tour.
Well, from what I read, his tour consists of 4 shows a year. So I don't know. Is that a tour?
I mean, hey,
But he did a show. Let's put it that way. He
Interesting.
came to Minneapolis. He did a show, and I believe he's 89 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I hope. I don't know if I hope I'm touring when I'm 89. I might want to just be at home.
How new material at 89, testing it out.
Yeah. I don't know. I wonder if he's doing the hits. I want to see it.
Oh, it's got to be the hits.
Got to do the.
I mean, it's got to be. I wouldn't be surprised if you did that Abe Lincoln one that day. In any case, we're here to talk about you, Joe Zimmerman.
Okay, I know about me. That's a topic I'm aware of.
Well, first of all, let's continue the very short conversation we had before we started recording. I said I had you answer a question for me. I have push notifications from eBay. And they, just as I sat down here, they sent me a little thing and asked me if I was still interested in buying that Michael Jackson album I had been looking at. Mm-hmm. And you said, I asked you that. I said, do you think I'm still interested? Because I looked at that and didn't buy it. eBay's asking. And what did you say?
I said, did you? I guess you didn't watch the documentary about Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm. And the truth is, I didn't watch the documentary because I don't want it to ruin my pleasure of Michael Jackson songs.
This is a classic debate going on about artists such as Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, Louis C.K.
Uh-huh.
Can you enjoy the art if you're aware of the guy being bad?
Yeah,
But
and I was
you're-
going to start telling you that I could not sit here and defend Michael Jackson. I'm not going to go, oh yeah, it's all made up. I don't know. I purely just like to go back to when I was a kid and I had a poster and I liked his songs.
Yeah.
Still want to like his songs. 5-6 years ago, we were in Las Vegas and I won a bunch of money playing a Michael Jackson slot casino game. Mm-hmm. And it was awesome. You sit there and it plays the music behind your head. Like if you hit a bonus, it plays Dirty Diana or Smooth Criminal.
Yeah.
Awesome. So fun. In any case, I'm a bad person.
I'm not saying you're a bad person. I'm surprised that you... Like, I wonder what you think would happen if you watched the documentary.
My wife actually watched it without me.
Uh-huh.
And she said it was disturbing. You watched it, correct? Did you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she said she's not going to let it affect her feelings.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just thought it was pretty... All I need to say about it, I don't have that strong of opinion. I just thought it was very convincing, and that was the end of the story. I'm just shocked. I'm just shocked that anybody denies it after watching that 2-part documentary. Like, it couldn't be more convincing.
No.
Anybody that's denying it is clearly in denial, i.e. you. In denial because you just want to enjoy the music.
Well, what are you doing tomorrow afternoon? Because I'm having some friends over to watch Cosby Show marathon. If you're interested.
Yeah, I'd love it. I mean, I'm very passionate about his work.
Okay.
And I am able to separate the art from the man.
It doesn't make sense because I've written him off. I'm not gonna. I don't know. Whatever.
When an R. Kelly song comes on, what do you think?
Well, I never liked R. Kelly.
Okay.
And actually, I have, you know what, Joe, I do have strong feelings about it because I did watch a show a year or so ago about R. Kelly and was blown away that he still walks the streets.
Yeah. You saw that R. Kelly Lifetime docuseries. Is that the one you
Not
saw?
from a few months ago. This is a few years ago.
Did
It
you
might have
see-
been Lifetime, but I guess the same thing you said about Michael Jackson. I watched that. I'm like, are you kidding me? It is obvious. He had basically sex slaves. He wouldn't let them leave a building. It's crazy.
So, yeah. So now just do that and think about that for Michael Jackson.
No.
This week, R. Kelly was arrested, and the headline said that he was arrested after an FBI agent watched the Lifetime documentary, which makes me worried that FBI agents are finding out about crime the same way I'm finding out about crime.
Right.
Just what's on Netflix?
Yeah.
Ooh, certified fresh. If you're a criminal, just don't have a hit documentary and you're good.
Right.
Have a poorly produced documentary that nobody sees.
Right.
You'll be all right.
If those cameras are following you around, you're probably screwed.
But yeah, the Michael Jackson one was well done.
You're saying it's the best ever?
I think Robert Durst, The Jinx on HBO was the best done, and he was immediately arrested after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll go back. I would go back. You've convinced me. I'll go back and watch it. Except that after Game of Thrones ended, I canceled my HBO subscription.
Oh.
And that's the truth.
Well, where did you were you one of the haters of the last season, or were you okay with it?
Oh, I was okay with it. I mean, I never read the books, so I've never been on that level.
Yeah, I was okay with it.
It's wrong. I don't know.
I was okay with it. But the last season, people were so upset about.
Yeah. If you want to, break down it does seem like they skipped through things a little faster than I would have enjoyed. More, they could have stretched things out, and I would have sat there and watched for, another.
For some reason, they wanted to condense it to 4 episodes, and then HBO convinced them to do 6 episodes. For some reason, they wanted to be over with it. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. But overall, I liked it.
Okay.
I liked it. Did you watch Game of Thrones with your own HBO subscription?
No, I used a friend's. Also, by the way, in case you're concerned about what people are cared about in the world, the petition to reenact the Paris Climate Agreement has 40,000 signatures on change.org, and the petition to remake the final game of Thrones season has 1.9 million signatures.
Dear God.
1.9 million people are taking action.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. You know what? Everybody needs to put their foot down about something. And Game of Thrones.
They were upset.
Well, I think since you just brought up change.org, now would be a perfect time to talk about that a little bit more.
Oh, sure.
What's in your mouth, Joe?
Sorry. I'm gonna stop eating cheesecake now. It's just so good.
Right before the podcast started, I had used the restroom. I walked out and I overheard someone. I thought I heard someone say cheesecake, and then I'm like, "There's no way someone said cheesecake at 1 o'clock in the afternoon." But Joe is woofing down some delicious-looking cheesecake from here in Acme.
It's good. And it's got me just the vibes I needed. So
good.
I started giving. To donations this year. I'm sort of a good person, and
we'll judge that.
And here's the problem. I started receiving mail. Somebody gave out my mailing address to every charity, so now I receive 10 letters a day from various charities begging me for help, and I don't know, I feel kind of bad at the end of the month having to rip up these desperate cries for help. Just, please help us. Stop hate. And I'm like, I'm already giving to the bees, I'm already giving to help the hippos and the climate. And I tend to be an animal person, and people go, oh, you don't like humans? And it's not like I don't like humans. I just feel like humans are kind of, as a species, kind of the New England Patriots.
Sure.
We just keep winning, backed by shady organizations. And I feel like every animal is, a middle school football team that went 0-16 last year, and their coach also coaches tennis. They're struggling. One panda gets pregnant, and we're like, oh, they're doing fine. No, that was just like a score in a scrimmage. They're not doing fine. They're struggling.
Well, when you're doing these, these nice, generous things that you're doing, do you also include your phone number? In other words, is your phone ringing asking for money? Or is it only emails or things in the mail?
It's mostly mail. I am having trouble with my phone in that I'm getting a lot of robocalls, and my Facebook was hacked a few months ago.
Yeah.
So something is going on where people have enough of my information that they seem to be hitting me up a lot and getting into my accounts, which is problematic.
I want to talk some more about that. Do you answer your phone when it's a number that you don't recognize? I suppose you have to, being in show business. No.
I've never answered my phone call from an unknown number.
Okay.
Are you crazy? If it's a voicemail, and then that's their chance to say who they are.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I assume it's a robot.
Sure.
9 out of 10 of them are spam.
I gave to a foundation a few years ago, local one, and it was just a random phone call that I made. I answered the phone. The guy was very friendly and talked me into giving some money. It was the type of thing that I've probably when I was younger I made fun of like one of my parents, like specifically like my dad. Like, Dad, get up, hang up, get off the phone with this person. What are you doing? You know. But I gave money, and then it was a state patrol thing, Minnesota State Patrol thing, and then after that it was like phone calls every quarter probably.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting. They call, you say hello, and it's not like, oh, hey, good afternoon, this is blah, blah, blah. No, you're immediately in the middle of a conversation.
Oh.
Hello. Hey, great weather today, huh, Justin? Say, what's going on, man? I'm like, what? Huh? What?
Oh, that's the way to do it.
What? Now I've blocked it. So the last time, I knew the call came through several times, quarterly. So it was always from the same number. So then finally on my phone, I put the name next to it, and I basically wrote "Do not answer." Yeah. So when it comes up, I'm not going to answer it. Except then they switched to a different number. I answered it and completely hung up on the guy within 5 seconds.
Sure.
Yeah.
Smart.
Was that smart, or did I make myself on another
I love
list?
that you're still nice enough to answer calls in the first place.
That's the one that gets through.
Yeah.
That's the only one that gets through.
Yeah.
It's the police, so they're pretty sneaky.
Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, I do feel, just to recap about charities, I do feel a little guilty, when people were like, what about, save the starving kids, and I'm like, well, I'm a bee guy. I've already given to the bees, so I got to figure out something to do. I think, I did join. So I finally joined Heifer, where you give like a goat to a family.
Oh, wow.
So now I'm a great person, hitting all the $5 a month.
Sure, because someone could then be like, oh, really, Joe? Well, you're giving to the bees, not people. Oh. And what? Marriage? You're not married, are you? Kids? Oh, I see. This is a pattern for you. Yeah, you do hate people.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. The goat.
I do need to get married and have kids at some point, because I think people are like, why aren't you married with kids? People think something's up,
Focused on your career. That's what you tell people.
I went back and watched cartoons from my childhood. All of the villains in cartoons are just single white guys in their 30s who want money.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, why is that so bad? Maybe I'm trying to get more money to give more money.
Oh, is that? Are you saying cartoon supervillains may have been misunderstood?
Yeah. Smurfs, Gargamel wanted to turn the Smurfs to gold. Well, they're basically mice, Everybody's trying to get rid of mice, and if you can turn them to gold, bonus.
Yeah. Sure.
In the Care Bears, the villain is Newhart. His weakness is if you show him love, he feels physical pain. I know like 6 guys like that.
Right.
They just need a good therapist. They had a bad childhood.
Can't take a compliment.
Yeah. Also, these Care Bears are like little babies showing affection. It's like, where are your parents? This is not appropriate. I told you this causes me physical pain. They're the ones being jerks. Also, I don't know how old the Care Bears are. It would be funny if they were all in their 40s. For all I know, I'm Funshine Bear. I'm 46. But I don't know. I feel like all through childhood and even in college, they teach you that money's bad and don't be greedy. Mm-hmm. Villains have money, and then as soon as you finish college, they're like, "Oh, don't forget you owe us $100,000 in student loans." Mm-hmm. It's like I thought you said money was bad.
Right.
Well, it's bad if you don't pay us, So I think that's what happened to Gargamel. He went to Duke, majored in philosophy, couldn't get a job. Now he's mad at the color blue. He's like, I'll get you, you Blue Devils. So,
wait.
I'm saying the Smurfs.
You just made a connection to
I'm saying
the Smurfs and the Duke Blue Devils.
Yeah.
Because of blue?
That's right. You're damn right, that's what I'm saying. It's a long stretch. But that's my stretch that I'm making today.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
cartoons. Yeah.
That's really good. I saw on your... let's talk some more about what's going on here this week. I saw the other night Jackie Cation made a little stop in here.
Yeah, my boy Jackie Cation came by Tuesday night. She's awesome, and I've done her Dork Forest podcast. But yeah, we had a super fun night. My other friend Maria Heinig from New York, so we had Tony Deo, and then Tim Harmston's coming out Saturday to do guest spots.
What?
So I got a lot of friends, and I just did Size podcast. So it's nice to be here, see a lot of friends.
Very cool.
Jackie taught me Snapchat in the green room.
Is it
It's just, wait, what is that? When you give me a look, I don't know what that means.
Because I think I heard you say on your podcast recently something about, Snapchat, I'm not...
Oh, no, I don't want to, but she kept teaching it to me.
Okay.
It's not like I was like, please teach me Snapchat.
How did this lesson start?
Jackie was just like, here's Snapchat. And I was like, I don't know anything about it. She's like, here's how it works. And then she showed me a filter where you can have different faces. And so I like the filters.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm not going to download Snapchat.
Okay.
But
suddenly switching your allegiance.
But she did teach me Snapchat in the green room. Yeah.
Okay. So Tony, that's featuring this week.
Yeah.
Did you bring him along?
Kind of. Yeah. I mean, he's a comedian friend, and he tours, and it worked out that he could do this week. So I asked if it was cool if he came. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I guess I brought him. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, I figured because I hadn't seen him before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was really funny.
Yeah, he's great. He lives in Astoria, Queens, and he also recorded Dennis Regan's recent album. He does audio stuff.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna film Saturday. We're gonna have Tim Harmston hired a guy to do a 2-camera shoot, and then Tony's gonna do audio, and we're gonna get some good footage from Saturday.
Oh, from both of you?
And as well as Tim Harmston.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, right on. Obviously the idea of this podcast is to get people to come out here to Acme to see your shows, and one of the things.
Saturday taping. That's the day.
Well, and then Saturday taping, obviously. One of the reasons why they should come out here and see you guys this week is. Because in Tony's set, he talks about a job he has that I never thought about anyone having, and that is when he talks about. What is it called? A band. He organizes marching bands.
Yeah, he makes a lot of money doing that in the summers.
Like when they go, like the University of Minnesota, when they go from the U to the M to the Gopher thing or whatever. He does stuff like that.
I don't know what it's called, but I think it's called marching directing.
I wrote it down in my little
choreography.
What did he call it? Yeah, marching band something or other. I didn't know that. Oh, band show designer. That's what he called it. Band show designer.
He is hired by various colleges to design their shows, but he gets a lot of business in the summers. It's crazy.
I love that.
And he puts he puts in a lot of work throughout the day organizing these band shows. Yeah. And he's one of the more organized guys I know, so it makes sense.
Are you sure that's not just because he walks around wearing a suit and that just gives
the
off
suit
that aura?
That's part of it, but he is very organized.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has that ever been your thing to wear a suit on stage?
No, I want to get a jacket and a cool like floral shirt so I can have a little Seinfeld / Gabriel Iglesias vibe. Fluffy. I want a little fluffy Seinfeld combo.
Okay.
Hawaiian shirt, jacket over, jeans.
Okay.
That's next time I'm here. I look for that.
Please.
I just got to find the right jacket.
All right. You grew up in West Virginia. And we're done. No, so one of the things I'd like to do is I'll look up stories to see what's in the news in people's hometowns.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what I may have found today, this week, the biggest news?
I would love to hear
West Virginia.
I have no idea. I didn't look up West Virginia news recently.
You didn't?
In the last few years, I have not been paying attention to Morgantown news.
Well, maybe you should be after this.
Yeah, what's going on?
Are you ready? Let's not focus on the deaths that are part of the story. Let's focus on why.
Yeah, let's focus on the lives.
At least, Joe, 3 overdose deaths in West Virginia may be linked to a growing trend in Boone County. Where's Boone County?
It's far away from where I grew up, but
you were going to say that no matter what.
Yes. I don't know. I don't know where Boone County is.
Where police believe drug users are turning to blank as an alternative form of methamphetamine. Do you have any idea what would be in that blank? At least 3 overdose deaths in West Virginia. Police believe drug users are turning to blank as an alternative form of meth.
I don't. Well, just because I'm from West Virginia, I would know. No, I don't know.
The answer is wasp spray. Wasp spray.
Oh, no.
Yes.
That sounds horrible.
Sergeant Charles Sutphin.
How do they figure these things out?
Joe.
They're like MacGyver for meth.
Oh, really? You're going to put things behind a lock and key at Walmart? Well, guess what? You're not hiding the wasp spray.
How many different sprays did they try out before they landed on wasp spray?
Sergeant Charles Sutphin of the West Virginia State Police said that people are using the cans of insect repellent to create a synthetic version of the drug. People are making the synthetic type of meth out here out of wasp spray. It can cause erratic behavior and extreme swelling of the hands and feet.
Yeah.
He also warned that users can experience a fatal allergic reaction to the synthetic drug, but only after repeated use.
Oh, it just kicks in.
He says, from what I've been told, if you use it, you might use it once or twice and be fine, but the third time your body hits that allergic reaction, it can kill you.
I like that you're not allergic the first 2 times. That's weird.
Isn't that weird? Yeah. A local station reported earlier this week that in Boone County, they had sold nearly 30 cans of wasp spray on Friday alone.
What? Wow.
Oh, what is a company?
You're gonna have to show
Ortho is like.
It's gonna be like that Zyrtec D. You're gonna have to show your driver's license to get wasp spray.
Yeah. And wasps are different than bees, so you're not being offended by this of people potentially killing wasps, correct?
Yeah, I don't know that wasps are in trouble, right? I'm not aware of wasps being in trouble. Wasps.
Say wasp spray 5 times fast.
Say it with wasp being possessive. Wasps spray.
Wasps.
Wasps spray. Yeah, the wasps spray.
So there you go. There's a little West Virginia news.
We'll see. I mean, West Virginia, it gets the meth reputation, but basically southern West Virginia along the Kentucky-Virginia border is very different than northern West Virginia, which is along the Ohio-Pennsylvania border.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like 2 different places, because I grew up in Morgantown, and the accent there is more of a Pittsburgh accent. It's like, hey, you going downtown?
Okay.
Going downtown to go see the Pittsburgh Steelers? It's like a whole different vibe, and I don't know, but people don't believe me. They're like, you're from the South. I'm like, well, I grew up north of D.C. No, I don't believe you.
It's south of something.
I have the funnest fact about West Virginia that's going to blow your mind.
Lay it on me.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
The northernmost tip of the state of West Virginia is even with New York City on the longitude-latitude lines.
Oh.
That's how far north West Virginia goes.
Okay.
But I only say that because people in New York always think I'm from the South.
I coincidentally heard a stat earlier today about a different city that's on the same latitude, longitude as New York City.
Yeah.
Salt Lake City, Utah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What do people think about Minnesota? Is the stereotype just nice, or is there anything else?
Passive aggressive.
Oh, passive aggressive.
I think that's the when you dig deeper on the nice.
Yeah.
Passive aggressive.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool.
That's the big one, I think.
Last time I was here in the winter, you guys are tough too. Last time I was here in the winter, my friend asked me if I wanted to play pond ice hockey at 7 a.m. And I've never had more reasons to say no to something. I can't skate. I don't trust pond ice. I don't want to get up at 6 a.m. to go get hit body checked.
Yeah.
I don't know how to juggle a puck or shoot a puck. I mean, there's just so many reasons. I think professional hockey players that's got to be the most intimidating sport in the world. It's just like, oh yeah, and at any moment you're going to have to fist fight on ice.
Yeah. There's a good chance you're going to lose teeth somehow today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's got to be the most intimidating sport. Clearly just Russians. Clearly people who live in very cold climates and just need to get outdoors are like, oh yeah, let's play that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, I've never gone out and done that.
Yeah.
But I would.
You get if you get body checked, you land on hard ice.
Right.
There's nothing about hockey that doesn't hurt. Everything hurts. I imagine. It looks like it hurts.
Except for spectating.
Yeah.
Except for spectating. The truth is, though, Joe, in the thing that you were invited to, I don't think they allow checking.
Oh, they don't? On pond hockey? You don't body check?
I don't think so.
It's just a friendly game?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I think, I mean, you're going to run into somebody, but I don't think it's, F you, I'm going to knock you to the ice with my full body weight.
Okay. All right, that's fair. As long as the pond doesn't crack.
Okay. I heard you. Well, I've seen it on your Twitter, and I also heard you say it on your podcast that you're going overseas soon.
I'm going to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Yeah, first time there. It goes for a month. I'm just going to be there August 12, 13, 14, and I'm going to do an hour. First time in Edinburgh, and they have more themed shows.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm calling my hour the Infinite Knowledge Tour, and I will impart infinite knowledge. My goal is to impart infinite knowledge on you within an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess that kind of ties into the theme of your podcast.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
Yeah. Are there what qualifies as making it on your radar of seeking infinite knowledge? Like, where are you finding it?
Oh, I just thought it'd be I thought it'd be, an attainable goal I could set for myself, and basically I just go out and try to learn one thing each week and add it to my knowledge. So I'm slowly adding things to my knowledge.
I did my best to catch up with episodes of your podcast, and then you released one today.
Oh yeah,
I don't have time. I didn't have time to get to listen to that
one. Keep it going.
Like the last 6 previews.
Oh wow,
yeah,
awesome. What'd you think?
But I really enjoy it.
Sweet.
I've listened in the past. It had been a little while.
Thank you for listening to a great listening experience.
Mm-hmm. I like to consider myself one of the great ones.
You're one of the greats.
Mm-hmm. I make it to the end.
We're in the process of making a T-shirt that says "One of the Greats" and then it has an arrow pointing up. Is that a good shirt?
Yeah.
Then you can walk around being one of the greats.
Yeah, I want one. I will buy one. You announce that, and I will search one out and get it.
Sweet.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's a good show. I love that. You guys, it's the two, you and your friend Tom. You'll be in the middle of a conversation, and then when it's story time, you have a little drop that says, "And now it's story time."
Yeah, we got little sound bumps.
I like those.
Sweet, thank you.
I like those.
We got edgy social commentary, story time, name drop. I like name drops.
Mm-hmm, name drop. I'm a big fan of name dropping on this podcast and hearing them on yours.
For sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been fun to do.
Can we... I saw something that happened to you on your Twitter, and then I also saw that I think you discussed it on your most recent episode of your podcast.
Uh-huh.
Something happened on a beach. Do you mind if we talk about that here?
Oh, I'd be happy to talk about it.
Okay.
My friend was visiting, and she goes, "Let's go to the beach. It's the summer." And I'm like, "I don't want to drive to the Hamptons. I don't have a car." And she's like, "No, the New York City beach." And I've been in New York 8 years. I forgot that there's a beach. It just doesn't make sense. That city is so stressful and noisy. It doesn't make sense that there's an ocean with a beach there.
Sure.
And that you can just take a subway to it. It just doesn't add up in my head. It's like, picturing a rat with a dolphin, or pineapple pizza. I've heard it's good, but I'm skeptical, But I'm like, all right, yeah, let's check it out. I've never been. I went to Coney Island Beach. took a subway, got off. There it was, sand and salt water, seagulls. It was bizarre. And we
were you on the subway with your flip flops and beach towel?
It was nuts. I couldn't believe it. The city and vacation, they don't match.
Right.
So we walk out there onto the sand, sit down. Not 2 minutes goes by, and New York police approach us. Of course.
Yeah.
There's no relaxing. Of course, there's cops coming, and they say, "Hey, we need to clear the area for the scene." And we assume, you just assume the scene means crime scene. So
maybe they were filming an episode of CSI.
Yeah, maybe. So, right. So we gather up our beach towels that we just put down, leave the beach for the scene, and we could see cops gathered around something about 50 feet away. And so I looked it up. The next day, the news says, Coney Island, police find leg washed to shore.
Oh, no.
So my first time going to the New York City beach, a leg washed to shore.
No.
And a leg is somehow worse. Somehow a leg sounds worse than a body. I don't know why. Like a body, you're like, well, he's definitely dead. A leg, you could be optimistic. You could be like, well, maybe the rest of him made it.
Yeah, maybe it fell out of a box somewhere.
Maybe the rest of him's doing all right somewhere. But no, somehow a leg makes it worse. And it just... I'm done with people in New York telling me that there's a beach that's fun because there's not. That was the only and final straw I need to know that. Yes, there's a place where salt water hits sand, but there is not a beach. It's not it's not the beach. It's the city overflowing into the ocean.
Oh, I love the way you said that.
A little poetry for you.
That was very good.
Yeah.
At any point did you tell your friend, I told you this was a bad idea?
Well, we didn't find out until the next day that it was a leg.
Okay.
We just knew it was a scene, and we were kind of like, oh, maybe it's just something nice they're doing.
You know, there's an even additional update to that leg. I
did not know that. I do want to hear what happened. I'm riveted.
Breaking news here on the podcast. After discovering a severed leg near New York Aquarium last week, near Joe Zimmerman and his beach towel.
That's right where we were, right at the aquarium.
Yeah. Police continue to find human remains in the water off Coney Island Beach.
Of course, yeah.
The additional body parts were discovered amid rocks off West 5th Street at 6:30 on Saturday. I know you have that thing, Joe, where you worry about, like, you have the thing where, like, do I have an alibi? Can I go through to keep that in my
Okay.
So, a spokesman for the police department could not describe the discovery in detail.
Ugh.
You're right. But eyewitness accounts suggest the entire corpse may remain unaccounted for. My friend asked the cop, is that the body? And he said, well, sort of.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
It just keeps getting more gory.
Yeah. That basically ends it there. So, yeah.
So they don't have much of an update. I want to know the murder mystery. Is it a murder? Is it a somebody fell off a boat? They need to identify the body. I want that update.
Sure.
Do they make those on news updates?
I don't know.
Do they keep updating? I think those things just disappear.
I think it's time to set a Google alert for body parts Coney Island.
The body part news kind of just disappears like a body.
Hey. So, I guess so. Where do you normally go swimming?
Yeah, New York. I mean, if you live in New York, you just know there's not really a lot of relaxing to be found. Mm-hmm. It's I come to Minneapolis, there's peace and quiet. I mean, I know it doesn't feel like that. You're used to it, but it feels like peace and quiet here. It's nice.
It certainly can be. It certainly can be. I need another update from you, Joe.
Yeah.
This is something that we also talked about last time, and it was me complimenting you on one of my favorite jokes you were doing at the time last year.
Okay.
Last night when I was here at the show, you did not do it.
I wonder what it was.
Well, I'm about to tell you, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where it went, so I'm going to have you tell me. And we talked about this last time because it's the one where the punchline is Matt Damon, Matt Damon, Matt Damon.
Oh.
And then we discussed about how it doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah.
So I want to know, has it been touched up? Is it the same? Is it gone? Where is that joke?
Thank you for reminding me of that because I loved that joke. It made me giggle, but it ended up the same as what we were talking about. It didn't work with enough people. So you can't keep doing a joke that doesn't work with enough people. But the fact that you liked it is a sign, a positive sign. I guess I'll have to go back and review it. I'm trying to remember how it went. It was like was something on the lines of, tell me if this is what you remember. Do you remember the joke?
Something like, when I meet someone, I have 3 questions for them.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to make small talk more fun. So instead of where you're from, what do you do, what's your name or whatever the small talk is, I say, what would you name your firstborn child? If you could be best friends with anyone, who would you pick? And what is your favorite Matt Damon movie? And if you want to get to know me, my answers are Matt Damon, and great question. There are a lot of great Matt Damon movies, so many. Born Identity, The Departed. I do think We Bought a Zoo was underrated. Thank you for shouting that out.
It's not on your album.
I'm trying to remember where else. Does that go anywhere? No, I didn't. I dropped the joke because it wasn't working.
Interesting.
I think that it's too big of a. It's the classic comedy math thing where, the punchline is too far away from the setup for a lot of people to follow it.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, let's tie
this. You have to really, I think you have to be listening really closely to the setup to enjoy the punchline.
All right, well, then, if you don't mind, I want to ask you about something that you were doing on stage last night. We talked about it very briefly before you went on stage. We ran into each other at the bar before you went on. You had your page of notes, and you had written something on there about Will Smith. Mm-hmm. And I said, I think I know where that's going to go.
Yeah.
Based on listening to your podcast. There was some really funny stuff that you had done on your podcast. And when I heard it, and I was going to tell you, like, if you're not using that on stage, you should. That sounds like a bit. Mm-hmm. Well, then last night you did it on stage. You not based on what I said. You already planned on doing that. Let's make that clear. How do you think it went? How do you think it's going? Where's that joke going?
Oh, I really like the promise of the joke. It just has a lot of work to go because there's a lot of words to say right now.
Yeah.
And the more words to say, the more complicated it is. But also, now that you're mentioning it, maybe I could just tweak the Matt Damon joke to make it Will Smith joke and then combine the two. Because the other problem with the Matt Damon joke is the Matt Damon thing kind of comes out of nowhere of me loving Matt Damon. But I also love Will Smith, so maybe I could try tweaking it to Will Smith. It's a good workshop.
Yeah.
But basically, I'm watching the One Strange Rock documentary on Netflix, and I just think it's funny that it's narrated by 8 astronauts and Will Smith. 8 astronauts, and you learn these interesting things about how cool our planet is, and then you also are reminded fun facts about Will Smith. It's just so specific to both, and the joke I want to do involves how, at one point, we learn how the moon was formed from a giant collision that hit the Earth 4.5 billion years ago and knocked the Earth on a tilt on its axis. And Will Smith goes, if that collision hadn't happened, my backyard in Philly growing up would have been a glacier.
Is that right, Will?
And you're like, what else would have been different about your life, Will Smith? If the collision that had allowed life to happen had never occurred. Yo, if we didn't have life, man, my son Jaden, I might have named him Will Jr. I wouldn't have been able to get jiggy with it. I was trying to think of a way to get to the punchline. My life would have been flipped, turned upside down.
Yes.
But there's no way to say that.
There's got to be.
With the crowd, without the crowd being like, "Oh, okay." It's like, why are you groaning? It's such a great twist.
Yes.
I hate it when if the Big Bang hadn't happened, allowing space, time, and gravity, my life would have been flipped, turned upside down. They're like, "Oh," crowd's like, "Oh, what? Like, why are you groaning? That should be hilarious." It's a classic Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reference.
Yes. Screw you if you're against that.
So I like that you like the jokes that I like that audiences don't like.
Yeah, what does that say, man?
But we'll keep working on it. You're inspiring me to keep working on it.
Apparently. Yeah. So we should put a bow on this pretty quick here. There's just a few more things I want to bring up. One is the fact that you on stage last night you brought up one of your jokes that I just love, and now it has a T-shirt tie-in.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah.
So I don't even know how much more we want to say to that, but people coming to the show, maybe bring a few extra bucks because you can buy a really cool T-shirt from Joe, and then you get a download of the album.
Oh, yeah. If you
right?
get it's an extra soft T-shirt, and it's a cool artwork, and with it you get a download card to my new hit album, Innocence.
How can you go wrong? That's fantastic.
I hope you come on and enjoy the show. And Tony's great. Brandy Brown is the host. She's great. And then Saturday we're doing the taping with guest spot local legend Tim Harmston as well.
Local legend Tim Harmston. I need to talk to Tim Harmston because I have a really random question for him.
All right.
About something you remember the baseball player Robin Yount?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a product called Robin-Aid.
Really?
Yeah. It's lemonade. It tastes like the stuff you would buy like at a street fair where it's super sugary. It's pretty good. I went to the store, the Holiday gas station by my house 2 weeks ago, and I'm looking for a beverage. I'm like, Robin-Aid? What is this doing in St. Paul, Minnesota? This is so random.
Yeah.
So I bought it, brought it home, drank it. It's delicious. I looked it up online, because every company's got the where to find our product. So I went on their site, looked it up. Nowhere in Minnesota is this supposed to be available.
Really?
Why was it by my house in St. Paul?
Interesting.
And not even nowhere in Minnesota, nowhere out of the Milwaukee area.
Yeah.
I mean, there were little dots all over the, whatever county Milwaukee's in, but nothing outside that area. How did it end up? I need to ask my Wisconsin connection.
Maybe my theory is one grocery store, a Robin-Aid salesman came, dropped off a little tester, and they were going to test to see how it did in the market.
I'm going to go back and buy all of it, so they.
Yeah, you're their guinea pig.
Yeah.
And they're going to buy more now.
I guarantee they didn't predict that some podcast host in Minneapolis was going to be bringing it up.
Yeah, that's huge.
So I recommend Robin-Aid. This portion of No Laugh Track podcast is brought to you by Robin-Aid.
Yeah, hashtag Robin-Aid.
Hashtag Robin-Aid. No, I think the last thing I want to ask you about is if I'm in front of since I already came and saw your show this week. I've made other plans for tomorrow night.
Sure.
It may include watching this week at the Comedy Cellar on Comedy Central. Will you be on tomorrow night?
Friday night. I taped on Sunday, and then I'll find out tomorrow afternoon. They'll send me an email if one of my topical jokes made the cut. And if so, then I'll post on social media. Okay. So there's a chance I'll be on Comedy Central tomorrow night for the Comedy Cellar show. Because, I taped this past Sunday. They tape a ton of comics doing topical jokes.
What are the producers telling you when you show up on Sunday?
Nothing. They give you topics Saturday. They say, okay, the topics this week are R. Kelly, Epstein, summertime, and then you have one day. And then you tape Sunday, try to do some topical jokes, and then more comics do it Tuesday, and then more comics do it Wednesday.
Oh, sure.
So they make the cut Thursday, and by the time they make the cut, only about 1 in 5 comics get their jokes on the air.
Okay.
So, so statistically speaking, chances are I won't make the cut, but I did have a topical joke that went really well, so hopefully it's on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Were you on the first season? This is the premiere of season 1. 2 is tomorrow.
Yeah, I was.
Were you on one?
I had one. Yeah, I was on one episode of the first season as
Awesome.
well. Yeah, it's super fun to do. It's super fun to do those
Very cool.
tapings.
Hey, did you experience the blackout last weekend in New York?
Only in that I was at the Comedy Cellar. The trains would not go home, and getting a lift home was $140. So I
Spent the night.
took a city bike. I biked for 70 minutes from the Lower West Side to Astoria over the Queensboro Bridge. It was a nice little 600-calorie city bike home.
Would you think you'll ever do that again?
Yeah, it actually turned me on to how nice it is to bike late at night in New York in those big bike lanes. I'm like, oh, this is actually more pleasant than sitting on the subway with people who are literally blacked out.
Right.
It's like ride on the train with people who are blacked out, or avoid the train because there's a blackout.
Love it. I think that's it. If there's nothing more,
awesome. Well, I hope you'll check out my Instagram, Justin. I'm posting silly videos each week at Joe Zimmerman.
Absolutely.
But thank you for having me.
Yeah, and people should obviously, like we said, come out to the shows this week at Acme and subscribe to your podcast, A Great Listening Experience. Give that a review. Give this one a review. Since you're listening to this one, that would be
hit them up. Two birds, one stone.
Yes.
2 iTunes reviews.
Perfect. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.